January the 15th, 2024. Guys, you're looking at some of the last images that we're going to get today. As far as visual images, you can see that the sun is setting in the top right, and it's changing to infrared at that point. But here in the south, guys, we are getting ready for the coldest night of the year. So far, maybe in the last 2 or 3 years, and maybe the coldest night of the year, I hope, because we're just not equipped for it as far as infrastructure here, especially people in the cities and things like that. It's harder to prep. But what we're seeing now in these clouds, it's snow. This is pushing northeast, and if you look very closely on the edges of the Great Lakes, here's Lake Michigan, you can see a lot of lake effect snow building up there and then pushing ashore. This is happening on all of the lakes right here. Check that out. Right here, as it starts to stream over that water, then the shore catches it. So we got a lot of lake effect snow moving that way. And down here, we're still getting moisture pumping up out of the Gulf. That's moving in under the higher clouds that have most of the moisture in them, but the cold air is pushed in. You can see where it is. The coldest air is right here in Louisiana, but the wind chill factors going into this are concerning. Now, this band right here is far enough south to where most of this is still rain, especially here through central Mississippi. But here where it's white, guys, this is sleet, snow, things like that, but I'm just kind of giving you an idea on it. We look like here in central Mississippi are going to start getting this around 6 o'clock tonight, and that's when the temperature is going to drop drastically. With the real feel now, we're already below freezing, and it's not going to get above freezing now for about 48 hours. So that's disaster on crops and pipes. So make sure you can't do much about your crops unless it's small enough you can cover them up. But you definitely can on your pets, and if you got a lot of livestock, you more than likely probably have a barn or something you can at least get them out of this in. But, guys, this is going to get rough. I want to go through the wind chill factors. I'm going to show you how to use one of the tools. Most of you know how AccuWeather works, but I'm going to use the hourly version of it just to give you an idea of how quickly things are going to change. And just quickly, I want to change the satellite image. I was looking around the nation today, and I noticed these bands that are going up through the D.C. area. And so I typed in DC webcams, and there's about 3 or 4 that will pop up. One from the Washington Monument, one that I think looks at the White House, one the Capitol building. There's 4 that I saw. One looks over the tidal basin there, where the cherry blossom trees are, things like that. And it is white, and that's what you're seeing push through here. It's up now far enough away from the deep south to where all of this is now frozen precipitation. But again, this thing is getting into the area of mixing with this moisture and what is in the Gulf at freezing temperatures. Now, more than likely, you're going to pick up a couple of my husky male pups on the back deck, which is attached to the studio here, playing and barking. They love the temperature, but it's covered, and so the sleet and rain hasn't started here yet. They're going to be in a few minutes with the rest of them. But let's use Jackson, Mississippi. It's about 45 minutes north of us. As an example, this is live at 3:39 p.m. Eastern Time, 4:39 on the East Coast. And this is cold for us, guys. It's 23 degrees now. What I want you to do, type in your city, then click on hourly or daily, and then the radars, and they give you an advance, they give you the current radar and an advance forecast. But I like to use the hourly when we're looking at the coldest night of the year. So click on whatever city you're in and click on hourly. Now, it's 20 minutes to 4, but this is where this starts when you punch in hourly at 4 p.m. Again, 20 minutes away, 26 degrees, real feel 15. Notice this, sleet and ice, freezing rain. The real feel in the shade, 15. Now, it's going to start dropping very quickly because now the freezing rain is coming in. 51% chance of that. Again, that's 4 p.m. Let's go down to 5 p.m. Notice we've gone from 15 to 13 real feel, and that's what counts, especially when you're dealing with being outside, frozen pipes, and all of that. 25 freezing rain at 5 p.m., real feel 13, real feel in the shade 13. 6 p.m., that's when we go into a winter deep freeze or a hard freeze warning, which is all moved from the Louisiana side over into Mississippi and Alabama now, from 6 p.m. tonight in a couple of hours Central Time until 6 a.m. Wednesday. So it's going to be hard freeze warnings. It's going to take longer than that for things to thaw out. Make sure all your tubs are full and you have everything that will hold water, every vessel that you can hold water in, pitchers, pots and pans full of water that you can either boil or filter, and fill your tubs up so you can have, again, for your toilets. Here, 6 p.m., freezing rain, 12 degrees, 51% chance of precipitation. This is where it kicks in again, winter storm warnings, hard freeze warnings, wind chill advisories, right here. Now let's come down to 7 p.m. Real feel is already at 10, so we went 5 degrees in the drop in the real feel in just a few hours. Freezing rain, 23, real feel 10. Let's come down to 8 p.m. We've already dropped to 8 degrees in Jackson, 53% chance of humidity, precipitation, 22 degrees. You can see freezing rain. All of these are going to go until either Tuesday, or this hard freeze warning was at 6 a.m. Wednesday morning. Now I see that's changed to 10 a.m. Wednesday morning. That's what I was thinking. Even though you get above the hard freeze warnings, that doesn't mean things are going to thaw out that quickly. Let's move down till 9 p.m. tonight. Again, use your cities. Real feel 9, 21 with a real feel 9, 47% chance of humidity. Again, all your warnings are still into effect here. 10 p.m., dropping to 6 degrees, real feel. 51% chance of humidity. Let's move down here to 11 p.m. tonight, real feel 7. It's at 20. Real feel 7, 47% chance of humidity, winds 12 miles an hour. Then when it comes down, you'll see further ahead, click to mark, because that's going to start at midnight tonight. And you can see 12 a.m. right there. Real feel 6, 20 degrees, 47% chance of humidity. Again, 12 mile per hour winds, gust at 16 miles per hour. That's why it's going to be super cold. Guys, it's already cold here outside. 1 a.m. in the morning, 19 with a real feel of 3. 51% chance of humidity, freezing rain. Let's come down to 2 a.m., 18 degrees, real feel 4, 47% chance of humidity, wind gust at 16 miles per hour. 3 a.m., we're 3 degrees, real feel, 45% chance, wind gusts remaining at 15 miles an hour. The longer that remains, the colder it's going to get. 4 a.m., 16 degrees, guys, with a real feel of 2. Still 49% chance of precipitation. Wind still at 15 miles an hour. The 5 a.m. real feel -1. 15 degrees, still at 55% chance of precipitation. And winds have increased to 16 miles per hour in the gust. 6 a.m., -2. 14 as a temp, 55% chance of precipitation. Winds 12, gust at 16 still. -2, that's not very common here. But at 7 a.m., and that's usually the coldest time of a winter day, is when the sun, right as the sun's rising. 14 with a real feel of -4. Guys, and what you don't get on your local weather, we don't get it here, is going through this type of information and trying to get very accurate with the real feel, because, again, that's what matters. If you walk outside, what does it feel like? That's what we're dealing with this wind. 4 degrees, look at that. The wind has picked up from the north at 15 with a gust of 22 miles an hour. It's not going to lighten up. It's getting colder as it's starting to get daylight. You're going to need to have everything. If you've got daylight left now and you're in these areas, you're going to have just about everything done now, because it's going to be very hard to deal with in the morning. Let's go down to 8 a.m. We're at 16 with the real feel of -1. Precipitation is breaking off here. See, 2%. That's great. The winds north 15 miles per hour. Must be going to be slowing down without the gust. But at 9 a.m., guys, in the morning here, central Mississippi, 18 with a real feel of 2. Think about that. It's going to take a long time to break. I mean, nothing's going to thaw out. Nothing at all. With at 9 a.m., it's 18. Just scan through. Let's just scan up to noon. 22 with a real feel of 8. But your rain chances have died down. Winds are still north-northwest at 16 miles per hour. 1 p.m., 10 degrees. Just keep going. 2 p.m., 10. 11 by 3. But by 4 p.m., it's already dropping back. So, guys, what is our high? 11 real feel tomorrow. Central Mississippi just is not prepared. Neither is Louisiana. A lot of East Texas, a lot of South Texas, and then all the way through the Southeast from there. You get up into Atlanta, Memphis, and into the Smokies and Appalachian chains. Those areas are more used to it because of higher elevations. You see the colder weather, and you see the more snow. You also see much cooler weather a lot of times in these hot summers. But just you can look through it there. Again, it's going to drop back down all through tomorrow night. Wind gusts are still going to be kicking 21 miles per hour. Now, let's look at the current radar in the southeast. And on this AccuWeather tool, we were on the hourly updates. Click to radar, regardless of what city you're in. Now, as the radar comes up, guys, it's an expandable map. It would have zoomed right down on the southeast, which it did, but I wanted to kind of back it out where we can kind of get a view of what's going on down south, where it's warmer, along the Gulf of Mexico and South Florida, and then up north. And it's not as wet as it has been. You see some moisture coming in from the Pacific, but here you can zoom up, and we were talking about the lake effect snow on the actual satellite images, and that's what we're seeing here. There's a time stamp that's more than likely will be your time. This is Central Time. And if you click now, it will actually go to what is now 3:50 p.m. Central Time. Pause it, click now. There's 3:45, and you can see what's going on. Again, just about every lake, I think every one of them in certain areas, or you're catching this. And guys, I saw a video yesterday with, I think today one of the playoff games were going to be played, because in the Bill Stadium, it was just a short Twitter video that was linked to one of the channels that I watch, and it looked like a blizzard inside of that Bill Stadium. And I'm serious. If you can look up that view from, I think it was from, it may have been from the NFL or from the Bills NFL network. They had it on their Twitter channel. It's unbelievable. It looks, I can't explain it. It looks like a hurricane of snow and wind inside that stadium. It's an open air one, and so they canceled it because too many people probably would have never made it home. But again, you just hit your play. What it's going to do when it gets to now, it's giving you a forecast before now of what's been going on. It gets to now, it's the current time, and then past that is giving you a forecast. So that's how you can do this. Now notice where your moisture is here. Different colors here are giving you, let me pull this down just a little right there. Your rain would be in the greens to the red, which you're seeing down here in Florida. Your snow in the blues to a dark blue. The ice would be in the pinks to a purple. And then the mix would be in the solid purples. And that's what you're seeing. We're seeing the ice coming out of Louisiana and across, I guess this would be the Sabine River here, and it's turning into a mixture of ice and sleet and snow. Notice the blue areas, Lake Charles, Opelousas, and I'm going to stop it. Let me go to now. So 3:52, this is where we're at, guys. Opelousas, you're getting at Baton Rouge, you're not involved with it, but Natchez, it looks like you're getting some ice now. And the purple is a mixture of rain, ice, snow, whatever. It's kind of the changeover section. And here you can see in around Greenwood leading up to Grenada, New Albany, up into Tennessee, across northeast Alabama. You've got snow, and then you've got the mixture, then you've got ice. And you can see where the rain is up around the home of Alabama, Fort Payne right there. That's where your temperature gradient is changing. So let's just let it, I'm going to back out. Now I've got this stopped at the present time, 3:55 p.m. Central Time. And notice how the thickness changes as the temperature changes coming across this line of moisture. Let's play this thing forward. It's 4:25 p.m. Again, an hour ahead of us. Look at this, guys. By 5 p.m. Central, it becomes a very solid band. Notice that. Sun's getting off the top of everything, and that air is getting very cold. Notice the wind chills will start to drop very quickly, and this only goes to 5:15 p.m. That's only just over an hour and 20 minutes away. And this is, everything's much thicker. The ice bands, the mixture bands, watch. Again, we'll let it play through. There's Yazoo City, Greenville, Tupelo. You're right on that line between snow and a mixture. Right there, guys. And that's not very far away. It gets very thick. That's why I wanted to come here, guys. Let's go to the National Weather Service and look at their warning map. Now look at this area here, hard freeze warnings in the purple. We talked about this last night in the video. This would all move into Mississippi and into Alabama, and that's what we're seeing as well for all of my friends in Gulf Shores, Perdido Key, Pensacola, all along this area in Mobile. This is going into hard freeze. Here in this color blue, kind of an aqua blue, you're looking at winter weather advisories. But the pink area, which is winter weather warnings or winter storm warnings. Look at this right there. See that? Has moved very much further south. It's actually, this is where we were looking at the maps at Jackson, Mississippi, inside of that pink area now, with all of this in this hard freeze warnings until Wednesday, at least 10 a.m. before it gets above freezing. But if it's in the shade or up under a building or something like that, it's going to take much longer time for this to melt down and thaw out, so you can get some pipe work done. But so it's going to get rough. Not only that, I think the key thing, we can stock up with water. Everyone can do that, and I hope you got both tubs full. Because you can always boil it, filter it, whatever, or use it in the toilets, as I've said many times. But make sure what you can't deal without, if you're not backed up with wood burners or some propane heat or something like that, is electricity. And when you get to these temperatures in the south, a lot of times these transformers are not made for this freezing weather over this period of time, and they'll pop like fireworks, but much larger. You'll see the sparks fly and all, and you're going to see icing on the limbs, which will go across the power lines and cause the same events to happen. So it's going to be one of those periods of time where a lot of people are going to be out of power. But make sure you have everything else, and if you make it through this one, make sure you don't go through another winter without having a way of properly heating your home. Best thing you can do is get a wood-burning stove that you cook on that's also a heater. Best thing you'll ever do in your life is do that, especially with the weather changing the way it is. We don't know what's going on with it. It's been drastic for the last 3 or 4 years. Hurricanes changing paths, record heat last year, and now look at what we're seeing here. We know it's wintertime. You guys in the north, don't pick on me, but it's different here where we're at. So that's one of the reasons I'm pointing it out. But do notice in this very bright blue here, going up through the Rocky Mountains and into this, we got Utah, Colorado here. These are avalanche warnings, not watches. So be very careful. Now, a lot of this area does not have a lot of snow in it, but notice these are wind chill advisories in this color blue. And then you've got wind warnings and gale warnings offshore. And so, again, you're going to be dealing with all of this weather here, guys, which are winter storm warnings in the pink, moving east and north over the next few days. Now, one other good tool I'm going to leave you with, we're going to put the links in the video below this, is this temperature map, and you can change it from current temperature, or you can change it from rainfall, different things like that, but you can change it to wind chill factors, and you select your states. And you can tell very quickly where the hardest weather is and if it's about to hit you, or if you're already involved with it, how long you're going to be involved with it and how cold it is. But we'll just go to Mississippi again because that's where I'm here, but you can, again, it's interactive. Click on any state you want. But I'll tell you what, let's go to Texas because you guys have a lot of folks without power right now. So we're going to just go there first. Let's do that. Now, again, Texas temperature map, and then you have your choice. First, you can put it in Fahrenheit or centigrade. You can go to weather. This is clicked on current temperatures, dew point, wind, humidity, barometric pressure, heat index, and wind chill. Right now in Dallas, it's 26. Notice in Texarkana, it's 18. But north of there, Norman, Oklahoma, 17. Dalhart, I think that's the coldest place in Texas at 11. But let's change this to wind chill, and again, that's what you're going to feel, and your pets and pipes and plants will feel. And you can see that up in Dalhart, where it was 11 degrees, you're at -6. So what are we dealing with? 17-degree difference because of the wind factor going in here. Down in Dallas, you're 14. Lufkin, 12. Texarkana, 7. Alexandria, you're at 13 with current wind chill factors. So we know it's getting cold, but again, go to whatever state you're in, and you'll see where the coldest area is. But notice one thing, again, 13 in Alexandria, very cold. Dalhart, Texas, -6. All of this air is drifting over. Even though we're below freezing now, it's going to get much colder than that. Tomorrow night, we looked at today and through tonight on the AccuWeather hourly forecast. Now, what you need to do is also go to January the 16th, because I think where we're going to be at around 6 or so tonight in a lot of places, we're maybe -2 throughout Tuesday. That's why much of this hard freeze warning extends until at least Wednesday at 10 a.m. And so be very careful with what is going on. A lot of us have not seen this. I know the folks a little further north have. But there's millions of people that are not used to it at all, and it can be devastating. I've seen entire 500 apartments in a complex, and it was in New Orleans, freeze. The pipes in the wall froze, and it destroyed most of the complex. It had to be re-sheetrocked, replumbed, all the carpet, all the appliances, everything had to be taken out and rebuilt one at a time, and it never fully recovered, only about half of it. And then Katrina got what was left. It's a sad story, but I remember it very well. And so things like that happen in places that are not used to this type of temperature. But guys, we're watching it. You watch it. Use the tools. They'll be in the link below. It's a heads up. Be safe.